So, Azealia Banks has suggested that Sarah Palin needs to be gang raped. And then in her open letter to Sarah Palin has tried to back out of this by saying that she didn't actually suggest that she needs to be gang raped. But I don't know. Let's read through the tweets here and let's draw our own conclusions. Now, I know most of you all aren't going to be exactly sympathetic towards Sarah Palin. But let's be honest. I'm tired of this for probably two major reasons. One major reason is I'm sick and tired of these weak-ass comics or these weak rappers or entertainers or whoever pretending like Sarah Palin is a hard target. That you got to be real edgy on provocative to attack her. No, anybody can attack Sarah Palin. There's never any consequences. You're not edgy because you attack Sarah Palin. The second part where I find this annoying is because there seems to be an open license to attack any Republican female. You call Michelle Obama a cunt and you're a racist and misogynist. You call Ann Coulter a cunt, that's just business as usual. So to the regressive left, even the independents and libertarians, for some reason it just seems to be okay to attack a Republican female. For them, the ends justify the means. So that shouldn't really matter, should it? Alright, let's take a closer look at the tweets from Azealia Banks and see what she had to say about Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin needs to have her hair shaved off to a buzz cut, get head fucked by a big veiny ashy black dick, then be locked in a cupboard. Well, I don't know about you all. Locked in a cupboard? Harry Potter was locked in a cupboard. I wouldn't mind being like Harry Potter. I mean, yeah, true. To your point, there weren't so many big veiny ashy black dicks in Harry Potter, but I did read it a while ago, so I could be. Definitely not a lot of head fucking, but Harry Potter did get his head buzz cut. She might be referring to Harry Potter in this. I'm not 100% sure, but it's debatable. I'll give a Banks that one. We'll give her that one. Okay. Second one. Hideous. At least suck a nigga dick or something before you start talking shit about black people willingly accepting slavery. Least she can do. Here she's suggesting that the least she can do for the black community is to go suck a nigga dick. Okay. That's just a suggestion. That's alright. The tweet of the hour. Here it is. Honestly, let's find the biggest, burliest, blackest Negroes and let them run a train on her. Film it and put it on World Star. World Star! World Star! To run a train on her. That means to fuck, by the way. I'm going to come back to this tweet. So let's read the open letter to Sarah Palin. A letter to Sarah Palin. Dear Sarah Palin, I hope this message reaches you in good spirits and in good health. To be in good health, she would have to have not been raped. So let's hope Azalea's suggestions have not come to fruition. But I digress. I want to start this letter off by telling you that I actually really like you. While many other American people may see you as someone to be ridiculed, I truly believe that you possess a certain je ne sais quoi. If you don't know what that means, je ne sais quoi is a phrase that people like to use to make themselves appear smarter. Let's continue. Given a bit of book reading, media training / patience, that charisma could become your magic carpet. There is something very charismatic and misunderstood about you. The misunderstood bit oftentimes reminds me of myself. You're very passionate about the things you believe in, super determined and most certainly aware of who you are and where you stand in this world as a parent, as a politician, but most importantly as a woman. You know what I love about this open letter so far is it's not the least bit patronizing. Let's keep going. Given the propensity of conservative right-wing media publications to veer into very fearful, erroneous, baseless, contradictory, prejudiced analysis of us melanated people of the United States, it should come as no shock to you that a satirical article accusing you of saying even the French understood that slavery wasn't our fault because the Negroes liked it would be provocative enough to ruffle a few feathers. Now, I just want to point out here that when she says the propensity of conservative right-wing media publications to veer into very fearful, erroneous, baseless, contradictory, prejudiced analysis, what she means by that are statistics gathered by people like the FBI, CIA, and the CDC. Those types of baseless analysis. In my defense, I was completely kidding. That's the great thing about the left. They've never taken a joke and made anything bigger out of it, like Daniel Tosh's rape joke. They gave him that one. They go, well, in his defense, he was just joking. I happen to have a really crass New York City sense of humor and regularly make silly jokes in attempts to make light of situations which make me uncomfortable. Silly jokes. Silly jokes is good. I've got a silly joke. Here's one silly joke. Why couldn't the tooth get into the bar? He forgot his identification. Oh, wait, look, I just got a joke submitted by one Azealia Banks. Let's find the biggest, burliest, blackest Negroes and let them run a train on her. Oh, what a silly, silly joke. Rape is so silly. I agree, Azealia. Let's continue. As the fabric of the American nation is embedded with racism, I merely made a racially driven joke to counter what I believe to be real racist rhetoric. Also, I never said you should be raped. I use the term run a train, which is slang for group sex, not for rape. Well, let's examine once again in its fullness. Honestly, ... Let's find the biggest, burliest black Negroes and let them run a train on her. Film it and put it on World Star. One big word there, right there. Let them run a train on her. Let them, as in give them permission to. If you have a guy and a girl and they're having consenting sex, no one outside of those two is letting either one have sex with the other. So in order to let some random outside party have sex with someone else would be to be completely denying the consent of the woman. So to say that I will let this third person have sex with that woman, there's no consent in there. So yes, Miss Banks, that is actually rape. There are many distinctions between the two. As a woman, I would never trivialize something as lewd and criminal to provide myself any sort of comic relief because it simply just isn't funny. I'm so sorry, I was at a loss for words there for a second because I find it extremely ironic that she makes light of rape by having a rape tweet about Sarah Palin and then moments later writes an article explaining how she would never trivialize rape. And no, UrbanDictionary.com is not a reputable source of information to seek clarity on the aforementioned dichotomy. Okay, yeah, well, why don't we just look it up in Merriam-Webster? I'm sure Run a Train will be in there. However, I find great irony in the right-wing media's attempt to victimize you in this situation. It's not very hard to victimize somebody who has had, threats of rape thrown against her. It's actually pretty damn easy to paint someone as a victim for that. Seeking empathy through sensationalism is something left-leaning liberals are frequently ridiculed for by the right, but American hypocrisy is nothing new. Considering the imminence of 2016's polarizing presidential election, I've taken it upon myself to do my own social research. I'm sure she has. I'm sure she's just reading novels with her reading glasses on there, just flying through them, a couple books a day. I've recently had the opportunity to indulge in a few lengthy conversations with some very popular conservative figures. I've concluded, by the way, she doesn't mention who the conservative figures are. I would love to know, by the way, because I'm sure that, it's been really intelligent types and not just people on Twitter. I've concluded, amongst millennial conservatives, censorship paired with the questionable social necessity for political correctness are atop the list of social grievances. It is as though this newest generation of conservative voters desire the right to express their true feelings, free of any filter and free of any consequence. That's an extremely important sentence there, Miss Banks, and I think you've just pointed to something that was discovered hundreds of years ago. Let me reread your quote real quick. It is as though the newest generation of conservative voters desire the right to express their true feelings, free of any filter and free of any consequence. They already possess that. It's called the First Amendment. Now, I know to you the First Amendment does not free anybody of consequences because you believe that while the government shouldn't be able to punish anybody, that businesses or individuals should have every right to ostracize or to fire somebody for making comments, but I don't believe it. It's the same reason why I don't believe that you, Ms. Banks, should lose any sales or any followers or anyone over these remarks. I just think they should be one more piece of evidence on a piling list of evidence of why you shouldn't be taken seriously. Let's continue. I too harbor a similar sentiment regarding censorship and self-expression, as I am an artist. I cherish my ability to express myself freely, yet remain totally aware that for every action there will be reaction. All in all, woman to woman, I hope you will accept my sincerest apology. Sincerely, Mrs. Azealia Banks. P.S. I am an extremely intelligent woman, Mrs. Palin. Yes, I don't know if you guys realize this, but that's a very common trait amongst intelligent people. They have to constantly remind people of how smart they are. You come from the group who wants people to have consequences for any little grievance that they have at all, whether real or perceived. So when you threaten somebody with rape, I personally don't believe that you should lose anything at all because I believe in the First Amendment, but your followers don't. Now, I know that none of them are going to do anything against you, and none of the regressives or other of the left is going to do anything because you're a black woman. But you've created a monster. People like you who are responsible for cretins like Donald Trump and for the neo-progressives. And because of that, they are going to take you out with all the tactics that your party has developed. So I hope you're ready for the storm that's coming your way, because you're about to get a taste of your own medicine.